have a little thing everybody can do as well, which is quite nice. I heard this idea is get yourself an empty jar, pasta jar. You don't even have to buy yourself one. Just get an empty jar, clean it out, and every week.
Cuckoo, everybody. Welcome to the Aquarium, the Piscean presented podcast. I'm Coach Rab, and this is the Lovely Libby, and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, we'll just bang our cups at the same time, because that's great for audio, darling.
Oh, sorry. I'm just noticing your eye.
Oh, yeah, I saw a sucker punch myself, so I got a flat tyre. Is it bruised? Or
it's not the bottom, it's the top.
Oh, well, it's the bottom of my head. And you get these little covers for the bolts, and I was trying to get them off the car. I was like, come on, to be able to get into, then take the actual bolts off. And it flicked and pinged me right in the eyeball.
How big is this thing? I don't know.
I'll show you them afterwards. They're about that. They're about smaller than a Ferrero Rocher.
It's not the thing that holds the air. That's what I thought in the tyre.
Oh no!
When you originally said, and I was thinking, all right.
Similar idea, because that's a dust cap. What you're describing.
Yeah.
These are little caps that. So you obviously got your bolts that go into your wheel with your lock and wheel nut key. These are like little fancy caps that go on top to just make them look neater. Mm-hmm. And it was that flipped me. They hit me right there. In fact, I can't even touch my eye because then it starts to stream again.
Oh well, but at least you got your new tyres just now, haven't you?
Yeah, got 2 new tyres.
Yeah.
I was driving around with a little Nemo wheel for a day. Those little wheels that just look out of place compared to the other ones.
Yeah, I drove around with mine when I remember the thing happened to my van. Mm-hmm. I drove around mine for like a week, but then I was just in the city.
Yeah, so long as you don't go, I think it's above 50 miles an hour on them. I just took all the back roads and just went 40.
Why is that?
Well, why? I think it's because there's an imbalance and the tyre's not as thick. Because your other 3 wheels are gradually thicker and they just think it's dangerous at higher speeds.
Ah, makes sense.
I drive a Volvo though, there's no risk of driving too fast in one of those.
You don't drive fast anyway, at all.
In my head.
That's actually your normal speed.
So welcome to season 2. Now we are going to mix things up a little bit. Season 1 we released them every Sunday evening, and there was a lot of pressures and time restraints to get that sorted. So what we're going to do now is because we enjoy making these, right? So we're going to record them, and as and when they're edited, we'll then advertise them and release them. So it gives us more planning time, especially in season 1 when there were certain things we had to get together for the episode, and we literally had a day sometimes. It was Libby doing all the work, running around collecting oysters and mussels and dog biscuits, and you literally had a day to get it, which was a lot of pressure. And to increase the value of each episode, we need to have a bit more prep time.
Yeah, I think as well it was, you were on a time limit because you wanted to do it as well. If you had calls, then we had to think about that as well after the calls and everything. So,
and then it's the editing time as well, because remember, like a 30, 40, 50-minute episode takes at least that to edit, but then again some. It usually takes me about 3 to 4 hours to edit it completely. And the more fancy nonsense I put into it, the longer it takes.
No, yeah.
So,
can you believe it's 2025 though?
No. So today's episode is 3 top tips. So we're going to be discussing basically the New Year goals or New Year's resolutions. And I know some people get their back up and say, I don't make New Year's resolution. And I would say, well, maybe you should analyse why. Because a lot of the time people don't make New Year's resolutions because they're afraid of failure. Because they've tried that in the past and whatever they've stated, they don't stick to it. And that feeling of, oh, I said I was going to do this and didn't, they just don't want to. They want to negate that entirely. So then they get all righteous and say, I don't make New Year's resolution a load of nonsense. And I'm like, well, actually, you should always have goals. Things you're working towards.
Yeah, but then I guess you could then argue and say it shouldn't really be in the new year. It should be all year round.
Yeah, but what's nice about New Year is it's a clean slate, a fresh start. And, if you're that kind of person that has been afraid to start things or just didn't even try because of fear of failure, my advice to you for some free coaching, this is probably going to come out wrong, but try and get yourself around either a small child or baby when they're learning to walk or crawl. It's the best free coaching you'll ever receive. Just sit there and watch them. Obviously, make sure they're safe and don't hurt themselves. But have you ever seen a baby try to crawl?
Yeah.
When they can't, they stress and and they can't quite push themselves up, but and then their legs slide down. And then again, when they're trying to stand up, they fall on their ass, but they keep trying. You fail more times in life than you ever succeed, truly, because usually when you achieve something, you then move on to achieving something else. And as adults, we get this fear of failure. We're like, oh, I don't want to try. So you don't even try. Imagine that baby if it just stopped trying. Like, yeah, I don't want to crawl. That'd be strange. So actually, when you sit and watching a baby trying, nobody's laughing every time it fails. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then are you saying that the fear of failure is bad?
I'm saying that if it stops for people from trying, yes. There's nothing wrong with being afraid of failing, so long as you've got the courage to try. And my point is that we fail a lot, and you just need to watch a baby trying to crawl. They will fail and fail and fail. They'll achieve it and fall. And they get frustrated. That's what's funny. And of course you get frustrated. Every time you fail, you think you can do something. You're like, oh, damn it, and it's annoying. But the key is you just keep trying. So if it's hit the new year and because there's lots of reasons why people don't make New Year's resolutions. But if it's because you've done it in the past, and you'd be like, I'm afraid of trying something because I won't stick to it, then first and foremost, I'd say, set some goals.
My advice would be every day is a fresh day.
There we are.
Every day is a fresh day.
Every day's a fresh
Every
day.
day is a fresh day. So like if I eat rubbish or have had a rubbish day mentally or food-wise, I do that daily. So I'm like, it's a fresh day today. I think fresh week, fresh new year is a lot more pressure. So for me to put a bit less pressure on me, every day is a fresh new day.
Well, it takes away because this is the problem. Well, the biggest problem with New Year is that, as you said, it's a fresh new year and everybody has a blank canvas. But then there's this concept that everything has to be perfect, and it really doesn't.
No.
If you make your peace that you're absolutely going to fall off your wagon multiple times with whatever goal you set, you will enjoy the process more and you'll actually achieve more, because there's clean slate. Everyone's like, start on Monday, start New Year, start this, start that. It's like, you're going to trip up, but it's about if you have more days that you're good than you have bad, then that's what the win. And then sometimes you just analyze it week to week. How did I do last week? Let's try and do better. I mean, there's a lot of people I work with who are doing great. And then of course there was the festive week and they're like, oh, I wasn't very great over the festive week. I was like, yeah, but you know, you want to have health and happiness. You want to have a balance. And the festive week's a really difficult week to try and stick to a plan. So I usually say to people, take the week off. Just relax. Just chill.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So no perfect.
I was going to say something really important there. But what now?
It will come back to you.
I'm looking at the lights.
Yeah, we've gone for slightly yellowy.
Warmer
Yeah.
lights.
We're actually trying it in the morning, see if we're full of more beans. Just full of myself in general, right?
Yeah. Oh, I've looked at the lights too long now. You know when you like see stars? Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, for example, if you take a fresh new day, how I see it is like, so yesterday quite a bit rubbish. But then I'm like, well, I didn't eat healthy. Because I was like, right, January.
Well, compared to the day before.
I'm like, January, new health kick, not going to eat rubbish, blah, blah, blah. Going to exercise every day, which is my goal, which is what I'm going to do. But I ate quite a bit of rubbish, but I feel okay. I'm like, take it easy on myself because I have been doing more exercise.
Yeah, and getting back into
I think when you're a bit kinder on yourself, you tend to do better. If you're just a bit like, oh, that was rubbish, I'm going to eat rubbish, I'm not going to exercise now. The mindset of that, I think, then it's a domino effect. So that's why I'm a little bit less harsh on myself.
It's celebrating the wins as well, isn't it? Because like you have been exercising more again, so that's a win. You've been exercising more than you were a couple of weeks back, so that's a win. Your hydration's been really good. That's a win. Getting to bed on time, most of the time, that's kind of a win. But
our bedtime's not been great.
Not the last couple of days. No, we've been.
But then my body clock seems to change quite quickly with sleep. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it was like 2 days I was going to bed at about 11 and then sleep about 12. And then like for the whole week, 2 weeks that I've been off, I'm now like, well, it gets to 11. I'm like, not that tired now.
Well, we were watching a series last night and it was we were close to the end of the season. So you know what it's like, you just have to plough on, don't you? And we did. And then we were like, it's 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Like,
You're a bit like that though. Like, I feel like you can't stop halfway in between something.
And if it's
you're like, no, we'll finish it. I'm like, no, we'll just watch a little bit.
No, because I just like to get to the end, and that way you can relax. You can start season 2.
Relax. You can watch it tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah, creature of habit, you. Sorry, I keep slapping that.
She just doesn't realise how the audio works like this.
Imagine we had the mic still.
Oh, I know. Mike's making it. Yeah.
So anyway, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about 3 things. New Year's resolution. New Year's resolution.
Do you know the word I can't say is philanthropist? People that give their money away. Philanthropy. Oh, can't even say it. People that give their money away, like they're a philanthropist. That made their billions and they give a lot of their money away. It's known as a philanthropist.
I don't even know that word.
People will know what I'm saying, and I'll put up on the edit what the word is I'm trying to say. It sounds like it's like philanthropist.
Philanthropist? I don't even know that.
I feel like, remember Cumberbatch when he couldn't say penguins because he said penguins.
Why are these woodlands so attractive to penguins? It's a handy highway for a parent penguin heading home from a fishing trip.
Penguins. Mum used to say when I was little, I used to say hospital.
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 I suppose that at least you had the excuse you were young. Like I'm an adult, I should be able to say philanthropist.
Oh right, yeah, that was when I was young.
So yes, New Year's resolutions, or New Year's goals, whichever way you want to. Now again, I said at the start, some people shy away from them and for all various reasons, but we're going to give you our 3 each, and between our, I need to come up with 3, right? I've got 2.
Well, I've got 6.
All right.
So move aside. One of them is to stop scratching. No, it's not.
She's got really hairy armpits, that's what it is.
Says you with your chest hair popping out. Why am I not allowed to have hairy armpits?
Because you need a hairy chest.
Woman power!
You need a hairy chest to go with it. Let's not go there.
Yeah, let's not go there.
She doesn't have hairy armpits, just say.
Well, I do sometimes, that's okay.
Yeah.
They've got to get hairy before you shave them. I actually did know when I was travelling around Australia, I knew I'd stayed on this beach in Byron Bay, and literally the hostel was right on the beach, and everybody would just 5 a.m, go out, take their surfboards, and everybody would run out to the beach. It was like along this railway line you had to go over. It was really cool. And this one girl, she was a surfer girl, and she was so beautiful, but she embraced the really hairy armpits and legs. Oh. So she actually had really hairy legs and armpits, but she was so beautiful, and she rocked it. I don't know how she did it, but she was like this surfer chick. She had sand all over, and the hair wasn't like bulging out, but she did have hairy legs and hairy armpits, and I thought she looked great. I was like, she is so cool. I wish I didn't care that much.
There was a TV series years ago called Men Behaving Badly. It was these 2 guys that lived in a flat and doing guy stuff. And one of the characters, Tony, had gone away travelling through Europe, and he came back and he'd grown a beard. He's telling his buddy Gary all about it. He was saying how he went to Germany. He's got the beer was really good. And then Gary's like, well, what are the German women like? He says, oh, they're great. He says, but they let the hair grow out. He says, one woman, her hair was so long, her armpit hair was so long, she put it in a bun. And then Gary's like, oh, they'll eat anything. And Tony's like, what?
That's so funny.
He just totally did. I'll try and get the clip if I can. I don't get stung for copyright. It was quite funny. So do that.
Would you like me to start?
Well, since you've got 6 to my current 2, almost 3, I think you should start. So these are going to be New Year goals, things that we're going to work on. And again, remember, your approach to them doesn't have to be perfect, right? So it does not have to be perfect every single day or a streak or anything like that. You just have to try them. If they're important to you, you'll go for it, you'll get them done. Yeah,
and also as well, just the thought process of making positive changes in your life that are going to benefit you, I guess, right?
Well, one of the main reasons for, especially with clocking over into a new year, and I saw this quote, it's not mine, but I'm abusing it big time. And it's, if you don't change your habits, assuming they're not serving you, then you won't have a new year, you'll just have another year. And I was like, whoa. It's true, right? Because if you just keep repeating the same thing, you'll just have another year of the same. Which, if that's great for you, great. But if you're wanting to make change and you're not making change, you're not going to have a new year. It's just going to be the same again.
Yeah.
So if you want to make change, people, let's make some change.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Ready. Number 1. Or is that no?
So number 1 is something everyone could possibly do. if you're a hugger.
Like a face hugger.
Not everyone's a hugger. I get that though. Do you know anyone that's not a hugger?
Yeah, because some people say I'm not a hugger. You're like,
Yeah, they're like, no, I'm not a hugger. So my first one was, before anything, before saying hi, before grabbing the shopping, is to give hugs.
oh, like to strangers?
Yeah, to strangers.
So, we're going to be at your Costa, have a coffee.
Well, do you know what's funny actually? When I was thinking about this new goal of mine, I was like, oh, I wonder what clients I could do this to. And I was like, I don't know if I could do that actually. Like, it is quite a hugging, but like really hugging is, you know, it releases, what is it release, Rab?
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin, which is a happy hormone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say you should hug someone at the start of the day for about 6 seconds to release oxytocin.
Yeah.
And yeah, I saw somebody talking about it on TikTok, and they were like, that's the first thing I do to my wife, is I don't actually go and see the kids. I find my wife first and I go and hug her for 6 seconds. And yeah.
Well, a hug's quite nice because when you do hug, you're heart to heart, aren't you?
I also think as well, like a hug is just so, it's just so warm to me. There's one client of mine, bless her, she has no fear in hugging, and in a lovely way, but she hugged me like the first time I met her, and I was like, oh wow, like it just gave me this instant welcome, warm person that she was, and I was like, oh, this is really nice, and I loved it.
I find it easier to hug when I'm off duty, so to speak. If I was training a client and then, if they're like, Merry Christmas, and they give you a hug, I'm always kind of awkward because I've got that professional personal trainer front on. But then if I was at a gig or something, not a gig, or I was out and about and then we met them socially, you're like, yay! It's weird. It's like a mental block.
I think that's what I was kind of meaning when I was thinking, what client can I do that to? Because I get what you mean, it professional wise. But yeah, that was one of mine.
Well, oxytocin is one of the happy hormones. You've got serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins as well. They all make you feel good. So hugging, and remember that actually works with pets too. So if you embrace your pet, it actually benefits your dog, or we want to hug a cat, they'll probably claw you. There's probably people out there that do hug their cat, to be fair.
Yeah.
Which is not a cat.
I think cats choose when they want to be petted, isn't it right?
Yeah. All cat owners know no one owns a cat.
Yeah.
I don't mind male cats. They seem to be quite playful. It's the female ones that start off playful and then they'll
Yeah.
But to me, maybe they just don't like me. I don't blame them.
They don't really need owners, do they, cats?
No.
They can pretty much survive without...
Well,
some house cats can't, to be fair.
Well, one of the main reasons I'm not a cat person is I had a client that works in the States, and she works on dispatch, and basically she told me multiple times when concerned neighbours would say, look, old Jim hasn't left his house in a few days, can you send someone round to check on him? And unfortunately, old Jim, just making up names here, had passed away in his chair. The cats, if you, as a cat owner, if you died in your chair, your cat will eat you. Your dog won't. That's the truth. Honestly, look at your the dogs will curl up at their feet and die with them. The cats will literally go, I'll eat you, I'm hungry.
I don't know. I think that's debatable. I think if a dog was starved and was in a house for like a month without food, I reckon Rabbit probably would starve.
No, man, Allah. She'd curl up.
Says that. Okay. Okay.
Last night, Nala chopped up
Okay.
the surface and took 2 packs of wholemeal wraps.
2 packs of full fresh
Yeah.
wraps.
Oh well.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Do you want me to do another one?
Yeah, go for it. You do 2 to my one. Gives me a bit more thinking time.
Okay, so I've realised last year I got quite bad on my phone. Personally, I think I got quite bad. So my aim was to stimulate my brain a little bit more. And
She's going to read naughty novels, isn't she?
no, I don't need to read naughty novels. Is do Wordle.
Oh, the New York Times.
So I've started Wordle, I've started crosswords, I've started all these like word kind of puzzle things.
To stimulate the brain.
To stimulate my brain a little bit, because I've realised I've been out of education for quite a while now, and I feel like my spelling and grammar is getting worse because I'm not actually refreshing my memory.
Spell Mississippi.
No.
We did this last night.
I'm not spelling
SSI, PPI.
So I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to start spelling again, at least, and doing things academically that I don't necessarily do anymore, because my spelling, I feel like, has got worse, which is a bit silly.
Well, it's kind of like math, isn't it? Like, it's use it or lose it. Because I remember we used to go into the cafe that was part of the business centre. We had our offices, and they didn't use a till as such. They used to put it on a calculator. So I used to, quickly, my goal in my head was to get to the number before the lady could on the calculator. And I was also reading it upside down. Mm-hmm. And what happened was, in the beginning, I was like, you have to second guess it, and I couldn't beat her. But as time went on, it didn't matter what I was buying. I could get there quicker than she could input it on the calculator. But then what happened was, again, I did that for a while, I felt like a boss, and then I stopped using it. And then I was somewhere and I was buying 3 things. Now, all 3 things ended in 99. So it means it should be 3 pence short of the full thing. And I was scratching my head going, how much is that going to be? I couldn't get it in my head. It's perishable, isn't it? You have to use it or lose it.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? The girls were doing their times tables the other day, and they started getting me involved. I was like, you go. I was like, oh my God, don't involve me.
It's when you're put on the spot as well.
They were like really quick, and I'm not good at my times table. I'm not good with numbers, full stop. But even they were quick, and I was getting really nervous because I was thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to do it. I was like, oh, they're not. And then they were like, is that right? I was like, checking on the calculator. But
I love it though, because some of my personal training clients are really intelligent people as well, and I love it when we're both looking at something and we're both going, and between the two of you, you're stuck, and you eventually get it, but then you both recognise, Christ, we've not been to school in a while, or more likely we've not used it in a while. So.
I'll be really honest with you, I just didn't listen in maths.
Did you not?
But when I was tested for dyslexia, it made sense to me, because I remember I was trying to explain to them how it felt when somebody was speaking to me in numbers or in super detailed stuff. Mm-hmm. And they were right in saying it's another language. So literally, to me, if somebody starts speaking to me in numbers, it's like Italian. So it's like if somebody was speaking to you in another language and they're like, well, the number. It's like, well, no, the number doesn't actually go in. Yeah. It doesn't actually go into my brain. It literally just, I can't explain it.
I just think that, well, my personal opinion, some of the stuff that I learned doing higher maths and whatever else, I never used today. So I wish they'd split it up into, because I understand if you're going to go into the sciences, understanding math helps with your physics, helps with your chemistry work, all that good stuff if you're going to go into that kind of role. But the kind of maths that I wish I'd rehearsed a lot of was all the compound interest stuff that would actually be useful in today's age with mortgages and tax returns and all that kind of stuff. I wish there was a separate, functional mathematics compared to scientific math or whatever, So you could have then went and thought, I'm not going to go and do this. So I'd rather study the stuff that's going to help me for day-to-day things when mortgage and interest rates go up and down and whatever else, and capital gains tax and all that, the stuff that you would actually use on a daily basis. Yeah. Functional maths.
I guess they leave that to the parents, right? That's the parents' job. You're going to have to teach your children that yourself.
Yeah, but if both your parents were employed, it's less likely that they would ever have done a tax return. Or, it's less likely. So, that kind of stuff. So they might not have come across that. And I suppose that's why you get mortgage buyers if you're going to do mortgage stuff. But it's good to know these things. So that's your first 2 in the bag. Mm-hmm. So mine is going to be, I want to manage my caffeine intake better. Because I found last year and the year before, I'm a professional napper. I got really good at it over the years. I can shut down for 10, 20 minutes and reboot again, and it's good to go. But I noticed I was always getting a crash about 1, 2 in the afternoon. And it's no surprise, because the half-life of caffeine is 6 hours. And I get up at 5 in the morning and have 1 to 2 coffees. And on some days I was having 3, just if I had a slightly longer morning. So there's no wonder it's hitting 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, I need a nap. And that's okay on the days that I could fit a 20-minute nap in. But the days I couldn't, it was like hell. And I thought, enough's enough. And some days I was then drinking caffeine throughout the day just because it was that kind of thing. If I had a call or something to do, or sometimes I used to reward myself, right, I'm going to sit down, write an email while drinking a coffee. And at the end of the day, I'm having, now this, some of you are going to be like, hold my beer, because I'm going to say 4 or 5 coffees, but 4 or 5 coffees was a lot for me.
That is a lot, I would say.
But some people do drink that regularly, easy. And I would struggle with that. So I'm going to try and keep and I have been so far keeping my coffee to 1 to 2 a day. And I know this is tea at the moment. Yes, there's caffeine in tea, but at the moment I'm trying to have no more than 2 if I can help it. But as I said earlier on, it doesn't have to be perfect. There might be days when I have 3. So the other day, my eldest daughter made me a coffee. I was already at my limit, and she came through and said, Daddy, I made you a coffee. Now I'm not going to say to her, sorry, darling, I'm only allowed 2 a day. I wasn't going to do that to her. And actually, I was quite sleepy, so she picked me up. So it doesn't have to be perfect. But on the whole, if I'm aiming for 1 to 2 coffees a day, at least then I've put a framework around my caffeine intake so that if I get to 4 or 5 coffees in a day, I need to give myself a slap. So what's measured is managed, people.
Yeah. I definitely think you'll see a difference as well. Quite quickly. Caffeine is addictive.
Yeah.
100%. I am fully addicted to caffeine. Yeah.
Well, I like to think that, because Libby just took that and she's took it one step further, which is spot on. And I'll let Libby. Was that one of your lists, your caffeine one?
Oh, caffeine, but it was actually to hydrate before you caffeinate.
Oh, yeah, we are.
I said to myself, right, actually, one of the things I'm going to do is drink water before I caffeinate. Because I suffer quite badly from headaches as well. And I find that when I hydrate before I caffeinate, I actually less likely get a headache because caffeine dehydrates you, doesn't it? So,
Well, it's also, remember, when you sleep, every time you breathe, you're letting out very small vapours of water in your breath. So overnight, as you're breathing and you're sleeping, you do become dehydrated. That's why sometimes people encourage you to sleep with water by the bed. So when you wake up in the morning, you're likely already dehydrated, and then you're then taking on a stimulant as well. So.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a good one. I love that one.
Yeah.
The other thing you could do if you want to take it one step further is having a glass of hot water with a bit of lemon in it. Lemon?
Lemon.
Lemon? Put a lemon in it. Lemon in it. Because that stimulates the gallbladder first thing, and it obviously ticks the box.
Detoxes, isn't it?
Yeah, alkalize as well. So if you had a glass of hot lemon first thing, it's really, really good for you.
Yeah. And yummy.
And yummy, 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 yum.
Yum yum. Right, I have a little thing everybody can do as well, which is quite nice. I heard this idea. Is get yourself an empty jar, pasta jar. You don't even have to buy yourself one. Just get an empty jar, clean it out, and every week write something out that's happened good in that week.
Ooh.
Put it in the jar. Tighten it up. Every week, do that for the whole year.
Your very own jolly jar.
At the end of the year, open the jar and read all the good things that happened in your year. So I thought that was quite a nice thing to do on New Year, in the new year, is you both open up the jar and you read out all the nice things and positive things that happened in that year. So that was quite a nice little tip.
That's really, really good. I love that.
But you're not allowed to look at the stuff obviously until
the end of the year.
Till the end of the year, but one thing every week that's really positive that's happened.
Because sometimes you get to the end of the year, and let's just say you had a pickle at work towards the end, you focus on the negative thing. You forget how great the year had been.
Well, that's the kind of point in it, isn't it? It's that you're focusing more on the positive things that have happened. Even if it's a small win, I think, with anything. Had a lovely walk today in the sun or whatever, and you write that down. So I thought that was quite nice.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Where's our jar?
Well, we have plenty of jars in that cupboard.
We don't have a jar big enough, darling.
I mean, we've got plenty of jars in there. Yeah, we would need 2 jars.
Yeah. Well, I like it. There we go. A jolly jar. There you are.
A jolly jar. Have you got another one?
My next one was I'm going to try and do some form of exercise every day. Now, people say, well, Rab, you should be. I'm like, I know. But I think I got a bit of a shoulder injury through the summer last year. And then I was still doing a bit of exercise with Pilates and stuff, but I wasn't doing something every day. And I like to do something. Now, remember that exercise takes many forms. So if I went for a run, that would tick the box. If I did a weight session, that would tick the box. Pilates, that kind of thing. But also, if I sat down and did a specific stretch session.
Fleming.
It's a handy highway for a parent penguin heading home from a fishing trip.
Lemming. Stretch session, that would also tick that box. What was that?
Is there something on my neck?
It's just your hair. Box.
Maybe. Oh, sorry.
Yes, stretch. Basically, I'm going to try and do some exercise every day. Now, I have gone back to the weights and I've gone heavy again. Now, interestingly enough, this happened to me before years ago when I kind of burnt myself out with heavy weights. I just did too much of them for too long, and then I was going into the gym, I was lifting weights, I was like, I can't be bothered with weights, and I just went for a run instead. And towards the tail end of last year, I was getting that way again. I was picking up weights, I was like, I lost the desire for heavy weights. I was still doing push-ups and dips and things like that, but I just lost the desire. So I took a break from doing heavy stuff. So when we've gone back to it, I actually found myself, I had the bug for it again. So I was like, you know what? Sometimes, learn to rest, not to quit. I did other things, but... So anyway, that's a long way of saying that one of my goals, every single day I'm going to try and do something. So yesterday I did stretching. Today we'll probably do either a workout and or...
I think we'll do weights today, yeah.
Yeah, we'll compare. So something. So again, on the days if the muscles are sore, if you're short of time, just get down on the floor for 10 minutes and do some stretching. Ticks the box.
Yeah. Or a walk.
Yeah.
Do a walk.
And I'm not going to be, as I said before, it doesn't have to be perfect. So if there's a day that I miss out by accident or whatever, I just think to myself, right, last week I managed 5 days out of 7. This week I'll shoot for 5 again and try and get 6 days out of 7 and then 7 out of 7, that kind of thing. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to try and build that up.
Yeah. And you're doing well so far anyway, so.
I honestly feel like a giant has picked me up, chewed me up like a bit of bubblegum and spat me out.
I quite like that.
My muscles are like,
yeah, I quite like that because that feeling is your muscles.
They've been damaged.
They're damaged, and I weirdly kind of like that.
Rihanna, S&M, come on.
I don't know why. I guess it's when you can't see what's inside of you, but you feel it. Do you know what I mean? You can't actually see.
Oh, you feel it.
It's good to be back, isn't it? I deal with this on a day-to-day basis anyway, so...
You're dating a child.
Yeah. One of my other things, just quickly, was to buy only what I really needed. Now, I say that and I'm getting a new bathroom done. So, that was last year.
Did say you needed it. That was last year that you paid for it.
Last year I made the decision to get a new bathroom, so scratch that, okay? I've been talking this year is to only buy things that I really, really need. I want a year and a life that's not cluttered. I really want to just have things, that I really need. So for example, I was thinking about, I got a voucher from one of my clients very kindly to Tidals, which is a outdoor kind of gear shop, clothing shop. And I was like, I'm going to go and buy my new boots. And then I'm like, do you know what, actually? I've got like a little rip in the boot, but I'm like, I actually don't need to get a whole new boot. So what I'm going to do instead is go to a boot shop and get the boot repaired. And I thought things like that in 2025, I would like to do. So instead of getting a whole new pair of boots, all I need it fixed, like the bottom of the boot. So things like that is what I kind of mean.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. I'm a bit like that with dish towels.
You don't like getting new? Oh.
I like getting new dish towels because the staining in dish towels, this is so exciting. You're getting bored.
I'm just like...
The staining in dish towels is annoys me, so I always end up buying new dish towels, which is so stupid. But
and you can just wash them.
When I do wash them.
I'm just checking, Jesus.
I do wash them. The stains just don't come out. I've tried Vanish, I've tried everything.
It's because you use that stuff, all the spicy stuff that typically leaves.
Yeah, the hot sauce stuff. I do wonder what that does to my insides. But yeah. So yeah, that was me. That's my year.
Was that all 6? Oh, no. Yeah.
Yep, year. Oh. Yeah.
So I need a third one. Now, what was I thinking about?
That's me.
I need to think of a third one, damn it. So I had basically watched my caffeine. Oh, I'm going to keep going with this. I'm going to, one of my goals is to get a lot better at chess. That's going to be one of my goals.
Yeah.
So I judge myself basically, you get this score called an ELO score. I won't bore anybody with it, but ultimately it's like your rating. And but there's certain bots you can play of those ratings. So I'm trying to get better at chess. So I'm studying it, learning it, and I'm trying not to get frustrated with it. And I'm going to just keep going, because last year I got back into it and I've been enjoying it. So this year I'm going to get better again. As long as by the end of 2025 my rating is higher, I will count that as a win.
Absolutely. And I think you'll be able to do that anyway.
Well, with all your goals as well, I think one of the other reasons people don't set New Year's resolutions is they set this big grand thing, when really they should be looking at the individual habits that deliver that. It's all about slicing up your goal. And a perfect example is one of my clients, she set this amazing goal, and at first glance you're like, holy shit, she's going to walk 2,025 miles in 2025. Now at first glance you're like, oh my God, 2,000 miles. But it actually breaks down to 5 and a bit miles a day. And then even some people are like, I can walk 5 miles a day, but actually...
That's what I must do.
Yeah, easy, yeah. 5 miles a day is around 10 to 12,000 steps. So if you look at your step meter, and a lot of people try and get to their 10,000 steps a day, that's not far off that. If you did that every single day, now of course there'll be some days you do more and some days you do less, but that's what that breaks down to. My point is when you look at 2,025 miles, you're like, oh, but then when you actually do the math on it, if we've been to school more recently, you slice it up and all of a sudden it's manageable. You can do it. And so with all your goals, yeah, you look at the destination, but then you look at the pit stops along the way and you think, how could I slice that up? And it's that whole thing, how do you eat an elephant? In small chunks.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a good goal. I like it.
Yeah.
So guys, that's it.
So you can cherry pick your 3. We encourage you to pick 3 of those.
Comment on your 3 actually, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to hear your 3 or more or less. If you even have 1, that's good enough. Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the key. Whatever your attempt is, you're going to fall off the wagon. But those that stay the course and just keep... Again, free coaching. Think of a small child trying to crawl, trying to stand up.
Just keep
They
swimming.
fall on their ass all the time. They get frustrated, but they keep trying. And then once they finally achieve it, they move on to something else. As adults, we've got that thing of that fear of failure, or we give up once we can't do something because we think we should. Or we're embarrassed to try, that we think people are judging us. Nobody's judging you for trying. Give it a go.
No. Fail, you get back up.
Get back up again. That's a self-control.
Okay guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow our Instagram, which is up here. And yeah, hope you've all had a lovely weekend. And we'll see you soon.
Goodbye now. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye.